The special feature that I have every week in Ask a CFO is not a question and an answer, but it always arises because every week there's always something that pops up over and over again. Oh, you're welcome, Danielle. I'm so glad. That was a great question. Some kind of common theme that arises, and I'm just moved to talk about it. And while I'm sharing this with you, if you have any comments, experiences to share, questions, challenges to the ideas that I'm about to share with you, absolutely. This is interactive and bring it on. One of the common themes that has emerged for me in the past week is the idea of faith and trust. And I know that I've talked about this before. I'm going to mention it today in a really specific context. I define faith as a choice made in the face of no evidence whatsoever, a leap of faith. I define trust as something that is earned through consistent performance. What I have found is that we human beings often confuse one for another, whether we define faith and trust in this way or not. This phenomenon of making a choice in the face of no evidence versus making a decision after consistent performance by someone or by an organization, we often confuse one for another. And when we do that, we invariably get into a situation of breakdown, a situation of upset. My gosh, I trusted her and look what she did. My gosh, I trusted him and look what he did. Or I went forward with this relationship, but oh my gosh, what happened? People who think that they're engaging in an act based on trust, but are actually taking a leap of faith, are in for a rude awakening often. Not because it's guaranteed that someone's going to do the wrong thing or make a mistake or betray you, but because you think it's one thing and it's actually another. And here's where this has really been surfacing for me this week. I mean, if you're going to take a leap of faith, say, I'm going to take a leap of faith. Therefore, I'm not going to put things in place necessarily to, or maybe I'll put some more in place to reduce my risk because there's no evidence here of reliability. Hey, Lisa, welcome to the show. We're talking about leaps of faith versus evidence-based, performance-based trust. So in a relationship, in a business relationship where trust has been established, maybe it's not necessary to require a lot of terms to build up, to shore up the downside. But if you're going to take a leap of faith in a financially healthy relationship, oh, you're welcome, Ro, great feedback, thank you. Then have more terms to help protect your downside. And then go ahead and take a leap of faith. I want to, And if you're going to take a leap of faith without a safety net of contractual terms or, some things that can help to balance that out, fine, but be aware that that's what you're doing. And where this has really come up for me lately is in the area of how do we make decisions anyway? And are the things that we think, are the pieces of evidence that we think we're counting on that build our feeling of trust and have us say we don't need to have things in place to protect our downside because all of these things which are building my perception of trust, are those actually trust builders or are they not? Mia has a great comment. It's very true. I realize that for the contractors I trust, a handshake deal is good. Why do you trust them, right? Because they've earned your trust through consistent action, through consistent performance. For people that I don't trust, I need a long contract. That's because you have a financially sustainable business, Mia. Of course you need a long contract, exactly. Right, exactly. There's nothing wrong in a relationship that's brand new. You haven't had an opportunity to build real trust yet. And what I'm going for is, I think that some of us, and I'm not going to exclude myself from this, when it comes to making a decision in which we'll be counting on someone else for something, I think that we would do well to examine where we're choosing to assess that this is a trustworthy situation, what we're assessing as a builder of trust, and therefore we are letting down our guard, or saying we don't need a contract, or sure, you can pay me later, that's fine, or no, I don't need to take your contact information now, or your payment information now, or whatever that is. That's fine if the actual markers of trust are present. Is someone consistently delivering on their word, or are they not? Is the credibility, for example, that you're basing your trust on actually credible? And I'm going to share with you some things that might get some angry faces, and that's fine. Let's go for it. How about websites? I have a website, and lots of people on this call have websites too. And we all probably know businesses that don't have websites. I'm with you, Danielle. Faith is a precursor to trust, right? Exactly. So websites. Is that outside verification of anything? No, it's all self-produced content. Even hopefully the testimonials are true, but I've seen websites in which I know that those testimonials are baked. How do we really know? Be mindful of making decisions based on something that's not really performance-based. All it necessarily means is that you have the ability to execute on creating a website. What can you produce on your website that really shows that you can be counted on for consistent performance of action? Lisa, really good example. She's got videos on her website of her dojo with kids doing karate and her in a karate uniform teaching them. That is really solid evidence. And somebody looking at that will go, yeah, I'm going to send my kid to her dojo, to BKD over in Cusco, Maine, for karate training, because Renshi Lisa knows what she's talking about. That's trust building evidence. There's a website that says we know karate, okay, like says you, but people go and make decisions based on information that's not actually credible. If you want to take a leap of faith, take a leap of faith, but shore up your downside if you expect to have a financially sustainable business and a happier life and going to sleep at night and normalized blood pressure. Right, exactly. You're the supplier you were evaluating, changing their mind on the financial has broken your trust. They did not consistently perform. They said one thing and then they did another, right? So they broke your trust. So you're not going to be doing business with them. Well done.